shouting. Too loud.
I was on the shaker for that song. That was the best part. No, I'm just Josh. Yeah, welcome everybody. Welcome to a Monday live lesson. There's a bunch of you here that are watching it in the for free in the free channel there on Drumeo.com/live. So welcome to you all. Welcome to all of our Drumeo Live Gold members. Seeing you in the chat, which is awesome. Everyone who has not seen Calum before, it's Calum Rees.
Hello, everyone.
And he's one of our regular instructors here at Drumeo.com. And tell us a bit about yourself, because there's a lot of people here who have not seen you. I know last week we had Kyle Radomski on. The week before that was Jared. I'm sure you all know Jared. And now we have Calum. So tell us a bit about yourself.
Well, I am an import from the old country. So born in Wales, grew up near London in the UK. Home of the Queen.
Home of the Queen.
If you've heard of the Queen, it's kind of close to there. So I've been playing drums a bunch of years and been teaching a bunch of those years as well. And I'm really a drummer who just loves to play. I don't really think too much about what I play, but I'm learning over the last few years that it's good to actually know what you're going to play. Yeah. So that's why I'm here. That's why I love being part of Drumeo, is to try and figure out what I'm doing so I can teach you guys and then learn from you guys. So that's kind of the idea.
Perfect. Now, Calum has been with us, done a few lessons with us already, so a lot of people are getting to know him in the community. But for you guys all, or for all you guys there who are watching the free lessons, Calum is an amazing drummer. He brings a cool outlook on drums to our team, I guess. And people already love you online.
Oh, that's great.
Cool. So today we're talking about how to play with more groove.
Yes,
how to put groove into your playing on the drums. And who better to teach us lesson but Calum, who you just played a play-along song. What was that song, by the way?
It's a local artist by the name of Doug Toll.
Doug Toll.
And the title is Taking Flight.
Okay.
And he's just based here in the local area, and I do some work with Doug, doing everything from corporate gigs to restaurant functions to festivals to whatever comes in. So
beautiful.
Yeah.
So if you were to search for that on iTunes or whatever, it would be Doug. How do you spell his last name?
Towle.
Towle. It's like towel, but the other way around with
there
the
you
L
go.
and E.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
And if you get to my little my Facebook page or my website, calumrees.com, there's a link to Doug's there as well. So
perfect.
Check it out.
Well, it was a great song. I know when you were rehearsing it, I was thinking, man, I've got to get this play-along track from you afterwards. So today we are talking about groove. We also stick around because we also have some giveaways. We've got some shirts. Today I'm going to give away some heads. I got 2 drum heads I'm going to give away. And I'm also going to give away 2 monthly subscriptions.
Oh, now then.
Yes, 2 free months of Drumeo, just so you guys can see what it's all about. Because basically, this free lesson, obviously, it's to get back to the community, but we also wanted to show you a little bit of what Drumeo actually is. We do this every day, 5 days a week. There's a new drummer in here, or a new instructor, or a different instructor, I should say, because you're not new anymore. But there's a different instructor in here all the time. You get a cool new outlook on different lessons and all that. So it's a lot of fun. You can interact with us, ask questions. For all you Drumeo members that are already in on this lesson, get your questions in right away, especially Monday lessons. We always run out of time. Okay, so that being said, for the giveaways, I'll say one more thing. For the giveaways, guys, go on Facebook.com and like us, Drumeo. Facebook.com/Drumeo, like us. And how I'm going to pick the winners for the giveaways is I'm going to maybe ask a quick question. Last week we did, what would you like to see a lesson on?
Was it the K-John?
Yeah, the K-John lesson. That's actually coming up. We've had a lot of people ask for a cajon lesson. So that's coming up in there. But this time, just maybe say... let's see, how long have you guys been playing drums for? And maybe that's a great question to ask. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask, how long have you guys been playing drums for on the Drumeo page on Facebook? Write down your answer there and like us, and I'll pick the winners come time during the lesson. Download the sheet music too. There is sheet music for this. And I was going to put MP3s for this. Usually we do MP3s as well for every exercise, so you can at least put them on your iPod and kind of listen to how the exercise sound. But this is on developing groove. It's not about how to play, specific notes on time. It's about groove. So I didn't want to put MP3 MIDI versions of something that's really got no groove to it. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Perfect. Okay, I've said too much. Calum, take it away.
So developing groove, first of all, what is groove? Groove is what you're playing, what holds everything that you're playing together. So you could say there's a part with groove. Let's see if I can do something with groove. There, my impression of not groove at the end there. And the reason for that is I wasn't really sure where all these elements of my playing were falling. Now, to be to have groove implies that you need to be in time. Everything needs to be working together to create that oneness with the whole rhythm that you're playing. Not that everything needs to play the same thing, but everything needs to have the same reference point. So if you're looking at the sheet music, the number 1 there is 4 quarter notes split between the bass drum and the snare drum. They look like this, or rather they sound like this. And all of those, all the spaces in there should have equal length to make them all fall where you expect them to fall. And that's the whole thing with groove, that you want to have the beats happening where you expect them to happen, not have any erroneous things having to pull away from what you're trying to say. So the notes at the top of the page there, or I should say the little written words, we're going to use quarter notes, eighth notes and 16th notes on the hi-hat against this first groove, okay? So I'm going to do 2 bars of each, so it'll be something like this. So hopefully what happened then was my bass drum, my kick drum and my snare drum, they all stayed in the same place. And the thing that changed was the increments that I did in the hi-hat.
So what usually happens when you're playing that, for people who aren't really concerned with groove, what sometimes there are some issues that arise when you're going back and forth?
So what can happen is that you're thinking 16th note pattern, I need to fit all my 16th notes in before we get to the next beat. So 1 E-ander, 2 E-ander, 3 E-ander, 4 E-ander can become 1 E-ander, 2 E-ander, 3 E-ander, 4 E-ander, like this. Actually, that sounded quite cool.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's cool too.
But what we're trying to do is have an even number to make everything flow together.
Okay.
So it's probably easier as well to try some of this. I didn't set this up beforehand to get a click track happening. So I don't know if you've got your phone handy.
Gotcha.
But we'll try and do something like this. So you'll see from number 2 and number 3. I'll just play number 2. Has everyone got access to the... It's just members who have access to the
everybody has access to the sheet music right below the video, so they can all follow along.
So number 2 is our 8th note on the kick drum, like this. Of course, anyone who even aspires to be a drummer knows that one, because you think Queen track, We Will Rock You.
I'm already singing that in my head.
Here we go. And so on. So that's a good one to do.
Okay, so click track, what do you want?
Click track, like 90 or something?
Let's do 90.
Let's do 90. There it is. So I'm going to play number 2 along with this reference here. So at 90 beats a minute on the click. You can keep that going.
Okay.
Now we'll just do 2 bars of quarter notes, 2 bars of eighth notes, 2 bars of 16th notes. We'll try that again. See if I can do 16th notes with one hand at this speed.
Okay.
Let's find out. So if I was not having my whole groove together, it could sound something like this. We put the click back on.
Okay.
Just with 8th notes, say. We'll try something. Which is kind of erroneous groove.
Pretty technical what you're doing there.
Oh, there you go. So you just need to find that beat. You need to be able to listen to it.
So you're basically saying, like, to lock in groove, you're wanting to hit those notes exactly.
Yep, everything should be lined up. So, for instance, on that number 1, I'm going to play in time with a click, and everything should be all in line. My hi-hat, my snare drum, and my bass drum. So we'll try that.
Okay.
Keep the click going. And what I'm going to try doing now is just play not quite on the beat. So hopefully that shows that I was not in time with my reference. These things are all playing they might be all playing together, but they're missing the reference point. It's making it uncomfortable for somebody else to play along to me.
Yeah, and we had somebody in the chat here saying, I'm slightly confused. Is he talking about just staying in time with a metronome? Is that really what groove is all about?
Well, no, not all about that. A groove encapsulates more than just keeping in time. It's to do with what you play, or kind of the feel you have with it, which we'll get into further down the line. But a good starting point, if you want to develop good groove, it could start out the same as developing good meter, where you want to make sure that every beat is going to be sequential. It's all going to be following on where you expect it. And all of your smallest notes, whether they be 8th notes or 16th notes or 32nd notes, they all fall in place to where they should be, where they're expected. Now, where groove changes from just keeping meter, good time, is that you need to react to something. So it's quite hard to show against a metronome, but we'll try that with a track later on.
Sure.
Just trying to play in time or create a good groove that complements a song. So that's really where groove comes into it for me.
Okay. And these exercises are just great for practicing that.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Excellent. Perfect. Let's move on. Do you want me to put the click back on there for you? Number 3?
We'll go for number 3.
Sure.
Keep that going.
Okay.
It's not doing this.
Yeah.
Okay, so if we look at the figure that's going on there, very simple. It's bump, ba-bum, dum, da-dum, dum, da-dum. Now, if I try and add something to that, okay? So hopefully my timekeeping is good there. But what that does do is create now something that a musician can play off. You can get a bass player in with that, and they can follow the kick drum or just play around it. And hopefully that's going to work together and create kind of a groove. So we're not just keeping time, we're trying to say something.
Yeah, one thing I noticed too when you were playing is that you were making sure, and this is one thing that I see in a lot of drummers who don't have a lot of good groove, or maybe beginner drummers, is their hands will hit the hi-hat and the snare just by like a fraction of a second off, almost creating like a flam, right?
Yep.
And I'm noticing you're so tight with that note that you're making sure that they all do line up. So that's something to look out for, to see if you're flamming amongst yourself.
Absolutely. And a good lesson, or another little warm-up for that, if you put the click back on, is to try and do everything in unison and just listen to what's happening. So I'm going to try and not do any flamming. I'm just going to try and hit all 4 limbs down at the same time. So hopefully that just shows when you don't get it all together, it's cool for an effect, but not necessarily something that you want to not have control of.
Yeah. Cool. Continue.
Okay. So zipping on to number 4 now, we're going to start building a groove, if you like. If those 3 were exercises to get us into the mindset of trying to keep good time, good meter, good internal time on your kit, I guess you could call it.
Okay.
Looking at number 4, I'll just play that pattern, okay?
Click.
Actually, I'll just sing it first of all.
Okay, sure.
No click, but we're going to go dum, da, 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 dum, dum, da, dum, dum, da, 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 dum, dum, da, dum, dum.
Got it.
It's a good idea to try and be able to sing things first before you play them, okay? So now I'm going to just do the kick drum and the snare drum as it is on the screen, as it is on the chart, on this piece of paper. Wow, old school. That's it. I'm good with old school. And then I'm going to try adding those quarter notes, 8th notes, and 16th note divisions on the hi-hat.
Lovely.
So the idea is to practice those different increments on the hi-hat, and I actually find the hardest one to do the quarter note, because there's more air happening before the next quarter note comes. So you really have to control when that note comes down. With a 16th note, you've only got a 16th note worth of air, So that's much easier to actually make it fit in time. To do the quarter note thing is, I find, a lot harder. So it's good to try even faster tempos, but just slowing down your increments. Try and get those quarter notes all lined up. And that will give you a good basis. Then you will know that each beat, at least when you get to each beat, you should be in time.
Yeah.
And if you speed up by a 16th note or something, within that bar, it's not as hard to pull back from.
Well, that's what you just said there is a great tip. I know for me, when I was trying to practice advanced stuff, I always thought the faster the practice, the harder or the more advanced it would be, right? Because you're trying to get more notes in. But what you said there, especially when you're talking about groove, creating more space is harder.
It is, yeah.
So it's almost recommended to maybe practice these at slower tempos with the quarter notes in mind at some times, especially for you advanced drummers too.
It's a really good workout for your brain, I find.
Yeah.
Because when you're doing like multiple things and you're used to doing that.
Yeah.
But as soon as you try and take one part out and just keep a straight note, if you're trying to play a cowbell part or something, just keep it straight. It makes it a whole lot interesting for your brain to catch up with.
Awesome. Before we move on, can I give away a shirt?
Oh,
do you mind if I stop for 2 seconds and give away a shirt?
Okay, hold on.
All right, we got a Drumeo shirt here for one of you lucky guys or girls on Facebook. I'm just going to look here. I asked, how long have you been playing drums for? And I'm going to choose somebody here at random. Oh, my goodness. Oh, man. I gotta select this guy. I got something here for Daniel Fucht.
Oh,
Fucht. I can't pronounce it.
That's quite all right.
But it's Daniel Futcasch, and he had a picture that he posted on there, and he says Drumeo spices it up, and I got to give you a shirt for that one. That's clever. That's my saying. You got to spice up your beats. So here you go. Email me, dave@drumeo.com, and I will get you set up on that. Now I feel bad because I chose one that was not related to the question. So let me give another shirt away here quickly. This one here is going to go to Kevin Hill. Kevin Hill says he's been playing for 35 years.
Yeah, so he should be here.
Crazy. We'll invite you to Drumeo. Yeah. Kevin Hill, you want a shirt? Email me, dave@drumeo.com, and I'll get you a size, and I'll send you one out. No problem. Cool.
Beautiful.
Let's continue with the lesson.
Actually, I haven't got a t-shirt yet. I'll have to do... We're doing the competition next week, and then I can enter.
You got to pay.
I know.
He keeps asking me for a shirt every week. I never give him one.
That's right. That's right. So where were we? Number 7.
Number 7?
No, number 5.
Number 5, yeah.
Okay. Now, you'll see from number 5, there's more air involved, which means you have to not play, which is quite hard sometimes, until the appropriate time. Okay. So if I just sing this rhythm again, we're going to go boom, boom, ba, boom, boom, ba, boom, boom, ba, boom. Is it? No, it's boom, boom, ba, boom, boom, ba, boom, boom, ba, boom.
There you go, yeah.
Boom, ba. That's what it is. Good. So I'm going to play that now and then add in those increments again. Okay. Just as soon as I figure out my throw off here. Okay, so when you're developing around that, you'll find that 100 beats a minute for me is kind of, I'm not really thinking about the groove aspect, the feel of this, making it all nice and swing and getting it all nice and tight. I'm actually just looking at the mechanics for that pass through. So it's just, I find it a lot harder to put those pauses in, the dum, gagum,
yeah,
because you want, there's forward momentum in that, you want to fill up the holes, but you have to let the music speak until it's time to put in that 16th note before the 4th beat. That boom, gagum, and when I'm counting, what I'm doing is as I'm singing it there, so I'm trying to keep 16th notes going as my reference point. I'm not just going dum, gadum, dum, gadum. I'm not waiting to try and just hope that it's in the right place. I'm giving myself a point of reference all the time.
Cool.
And that's the thing we're trying to figure out groove. You always have to have a point of reference so that you know what you're sticking everything to.
Gotcha.
There we go. Should we move on?
Yeah, let's move on. I thought you were saying, here we go, and pointing at the metronome. I'm the metronome man.
You're the metronome man. No, I was just going to say, so let's just, the idea is to scan through the music, and then we can come back and go through other bits. And the idea with Drumeo as well, because there's the archive, once you remember there, you can go back to it as often as you want to. So we don't spend an awful lot of time on each pattern, each bar number, because you can get the idea once it's taught, and then just go back and review that at your own speed.
Also, we got tons of questions that come in during lessons as well, and we do go in depth, like I said, depending on the time and the lesson content and stuff. Alexina Hammerhead wants to know if she can hear me say the word about again.
About.
How do you say about? About.
So I can't do Canadian yet. About.
Is that Canadian? About. I don't know. I thought that was right.
About.
About. I thought that was the American way, but who knows? Anyway, continuing on with actual lesson content, I got a question from Bill. Hey there, I have 2 basic beats that I would like to easily transition between a straight 8th feel to a syncopated hi-hat on the and 8th note feel. Is that the same thing? To a syncopated hi-hat on the and. Okay. Any suggestions to smoothly make such a transition? I guess it falls under the category of changing tempo or style. For example, transition from a verse to a chorus. So basically what he's saying is he would like to easily transition between a straight 8th note feel to a syncopated 8th note feel.
Okay. Well, I've got a little exercise later to do with the half-time shuffle and going into a 16th.
You know what? That's a good idea.
So
I noticed that exercise you had on there too. So, Bill, we will get to that very soon.
Tune in. Keep holding on.
Keep holding on.
Okay.
Continue.
So bar number 6, I'm going to sing it first of all. See if I can get it right this time. You have to just check that I'm doing it right. Okay.
Okay.
Dum da 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 dum da dum da 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 dum da.
Here comes the click.
Here it comes. Something like that.
Yeah.
So these number 6, number 7, we can play together as a 2-bar phrase. So let's have a look at number 7 straight away. So there's nothing happens on beat 1. One of the hardest things to do on the kit, I find.
Yes.
Nothing happens. Because you always want to put that downbeat in there.
Yeah.
So by leaving the hole there, it creates lots of different feel. So there's the 1 drop, for instance, in reggae music. You wouldn't put the 1 in. Or in some salsa music, it's 1, boom, bum, 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 dum, 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 dum. So not playing on the 1 is actually a good thing to try and have control of. So let me try and sing this part again. Okay, so number 7 is going to go do get dum, get do get dum, get do get. I'll try playing that. So we'll try that with a click, just to make sure that I'm staying in time. And again, the click track is a good way to develop just letting the click happen. That's good.
Okay, perfect.
And you not have to worry about filling in the holes there to keep it all together. So I'm going to sing it against this. Do get dum, get do get, do get dum, get do get, and then I'll start playing along. So keep that going. I'm just going to try those 2 bars together now. Number 6, number 7. Tempo's at 100 beats a minute.
Sorry, tempo's at 90 beats per minute.
Oh, 90 beats per minute,
yeah,
sorry.
90 beats per minute, yeah.
I'm just thinking I'm better than I am. That's fine. So number 6 and into number 7. And I'm just going to play it with 8 notes on the hi-hat. And hopefully those 8th notes are going to all be even. Okay, all the way through. They'll be as an 8th note should be. So we'll try singing it through once, okay? We'll go dum, do get do get dum, get do get dum, get do get do get dum, get do get dum. So everything's nice and even, everything's going through, we're leaving a nice hole there. Now this would be what I would say where we start to develop groove. We're playing something that's going to complement a song beyond the kind of dum-ch, da-ch, dum-ch, da-ch, dum-ch, ja, all the way through, which might be the right groove for that particular song, but just in terms of developing ourselves, try and get, I guess the word would be more syncopated with what you're doing with those figures of the bass drum and the snare drum. 16th note rests or 8th note rests or any of that stuff to try and get you away from boom, jach, dum, jach. Try and get some offbeats happening. And at the minute, we're just trying those straight quarter notes, straight 8th notes, and straight 16th notes against all of these rhythms. But then you can start developing different patterns for your hands as well, whilst keeping these syncopated rhythms going. So it sounds like it could get crazy, which it can do. But as long as you've got that point of reference, that one point of reference that everything bolts itself to. And for me, when I'm counting these, I'm thinking 16th notes, 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a. So having sat with a metronome for a number of years, with it going donk, 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 and my body now to a point reacting that I can keep those things in time. The daka 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 da 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 daka da daka da da. Oh, we're speeding up then. So I can keep that dead straight, just like that. So do we want to shoot on to number 8?
Sure, let's do number 8.
Or is there any questions coming in that we want to have a quick delve into?
We have a few, but
keep those going to the end then.
Yeah. Let's keep those going to the end. We're almost finished here. One thing I will say about number 8, though. Now, when you sent me this, I wasn't sure if you were doing a two-handed pattern on the hi-hats or a one-handed pattern on the hi-hats.
Yeah, you can do both.
You can do both. Okay, good, because I kind of notated it as both, as you can see here.
And if we look through, we're going to look at this as being a two-handed groove, except that on beat 3E, so the second semiquaver of beat 3, we've actually got the hi-hat and the snare drum happening at the same time. So we're just going to knock out that hi-hat. Keep it nice and simple.
Yeah. Sounds good.
Yeah, that's good. So I will now play for you, ladies and gentlemen, without the aid of safety nets whatsoever, the bass drum and the snare drum part. I'm going to try playing that without the hi-hat part to begin with, okay? So first of all, I'm going to try and sing in it. Dum, da, dum, da, dum, da, oh, dum, da, ga, dum, ga, dum, da, ga, dum, ga. I've got different pitched snare drums. Did you hear that? That was quite good. That's like two snares playing. Anyway, so now I'm going to try playing it 2 hands on the hi-hat, doing a 16th note groove, okay?
Okay, and click out 90 beats per minute again?
Yep, try that again.
Here we go.
We'll see what I can do with that. Right, hold on. So now I'm going to try just playing around with the hi-hat a little bit, just so I'm not feeling quite as confident with everything. So hopefully you can hear again. Perhaps the kick and the snare will be together, but the hi-hat's going to wander a little bit. We'll try that. Not the best example.
Dave the Wave says it must be so hard for him to play out of time on purpose like that, huh?
You just play lots of pub bands. It's easy.
Yeah, just play lots of pub bands.
Yeah, we just play at church a lot. That's usually a good thing to do.
Calum plays in tons of... You play in tons of churches, eh?
Yes.
Yes. So you're allowed to say that with
I'm allowed to say that from my own personal experience. No, for the most part, it's churches have got it down now. They've understood that it's more than just turning up.
Yeah, more than just perfect. I love that.
So, 2-hand groove. If I try playing that as a one-handed groove, we'll see what happens. Now, for me to sort of develop my dexterity, and anyway, got my plaster on my thumb, so we'll see what happens.
Okay, do you want me to maybe go down to 85 or something?
No, try it at 90. We'll just
try at 90.
There we go. We'll see what happens when I try and make myself look cool. Just about holding it together. That's fine.
Can I say something about this beat?
You can.
This is one that I've struggled with for many years, and I keep practicing. And the reason being is because when I start doing 16ths, I get this groove going on where I almost accent the 8th notes and tap the 16th notes. You know what I mean? You were doing it there. Exactly. But when I get to that one snare drum where I'm wanting to play that 16th in between, I'm actually having to hit that one down while my hand's going up.
So it would be... Wrong foot.
That's all right. But that's to me. That's what always threw me off. Is because I'm trying to hit an accented note there, or even if it's a go solo, I'm going down while my mind's pulling the stick up.
Yeah.
Always messes me up with groove. And I saw you were kind of, I'm going through that part there, and that first thing I noticed was that's what always happens to me. So is there anything that you can maybe, or any tips that you can give me or everybody else?
For me, 16th note groove, I kind of developed for myself, and it's kind of my natural fallback point, which I need to get out of.
Okay.
Is to accent the offbeat, the 8th note. So it sounds like this.
Okay.
1 E and a, 2 E and a, 3 E and a, 4 E and a. So if I put that in a groove. So that's kind of my starting point naturally for any kind of 16th note rhythm. And sometimes it's really hard to play it without an accent.
Mm-hmm.
Part of it is a good thing because it actually lets you know where the rhythm's coming.
Yeah.
And you can switch that around to be on the beat or off the beat. But it does mean that when you've got an accent in play, as you say, sometimes your hands get stuck and everything happens at the same time. So it's just a good thing to practice. Try putting distinct accents, so the and of a beat, so 1 E and a, 2 E and a, 3 E and a, 4 E and a, as well as the 1 E and a, 2 E and a, and just develop where you put those. And it's just playing it over and over in time.
Just with a click, obviously.
With a click, or just without, you can just groove with it, and because you'll know. And then when you really want to get down to focusing in on things, then put the click in and really tighten things up. But choose an accent and just try and stay consistent with that. Now, one thing is when I'm trying to play this open-handed, so left hand leading.
Oh, okay, yeah.
That's a kind of thing that you go, huh? So it's just to play that would be something like. So perhaps if I try and teach myself this rhythm now, number 8.
Okay.
Bar number 8, and I'm going to try and play it open-handed because that will show what's kind of going on with me. We're trying to figure out how do I keep my accent going and keep the snare figure going.
Yeah.
So first of all, I'll try and play it without an accent just to make sure I can play the rhythm. So there. So now I'm trying to have to think about what I'm actually doing. So how I'll go about it is slow it down. And you just get a feel for how it all comes together.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, I just need to try and lay off that. And because it's such a physical thing, that's really what's going on. It's the mechanics of it. Your brain's probably got it because you can play it with your right hand, normal way. But as soon as you change this, then it's a good workout for your brain.
Sorry for putting you on the spot, by the way.
Good.
It's good.
Yeah, absolutely.
You nailed it, though. Do you want to go through the last one here, and then we got some questions to go through? Also got a couple more things to give away. So
yeah, that's great.
All
so
right.
we've got this thing now, number 9, halftime shuffle. So Bernard Purdie or another one, Jeff Beccaro, Rosanna Groove from Toto, big exponents of the halftime shuffle. So based on a triplet, I'll just play it first of all. I can't even read it and play it at the same time. So why don't I practice this?
So you're just playing it.
There
you go.
There you go. Okay, that's how it
Sings
sounds.
it first. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
Should I play it now?
Yeah, let's try to play it. What you can say is in the beginning, that's how you don't play with groove.
I could, yeah.
And then you fill in the groove later.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
And because it's kind of, that's a slower version than you would necessarily play with it. But anyway, this would be a good, going back to the earlier question, of going between a 16th note straight feel, if you like, and a halftime shuffle.
Okay.
So let's just spend a bit more time on this first of all.
Yeah.
I'm just going to speed it up a little bit.
Do you want to click, by the way, or?
Yeah, actually just throw that in, and then we've got a reference for everybody.
At about
just to
90
see
again?
How bad I am.
For triplets? I would say 100.
You go? I think so, 100. Try that.
Well, that's 16 notes, though. Is it?
Oh, you want?
Oh, yeah. Well,
Okay,
here we go.
That's going to be way too fast for
Way
me
too
to try and do
fast,
that.
Let's go a little slower.
Try
Here I
80.
am. Here I am saying we should speed it up.
Yeah. We'll go down 10.
Okay, here we go.
Da, 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 da. 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet. You got that?
There you go.
There we are.
So I think we were doing 16
Yes, we
triplets
were.
in the last one. So I mean, we're just completely out of it
Off
here.
the scale with it.
Off the scale, but let's boost it up a little bit faster there. And by the end of it, Larry, it's sounding a lot.
It was coming together again.
Okay.
So part of it is because I'm in a kind of 16th note mindset. So as soon as you come down to a halftime shuffle using 8th note triplets, it's like, hang on, I've got to kick myself into gear.
Yeah.
So that's the thing I'm having a problem with right now.
Here's 100 again. Back to.
Yeah.
There we go.
Is that better? Oh, I'm glad we got there at the end of the day.
There we go. But
Beautiful
so
thing.
with this one, it's completely different than the other ones because you're now swinging the notes.
Yes.
And I think a lot of people they lose their groove when they start swinging the notes because they're not quite sure where they should all be lining up.
And a lot of people as well. So you mentioned playing in church. It's sometimes hard to find out, is the song swung or is it straight? Straight meaning straight 16th notes. Swung meaning 8th note triplets or 16th note triplets.
Yeah.
Because it's a fine line. What's the Spinal Tap? It's a fine line between clever and stupid. One, if you're all working together and it's all taka 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 taka, that works really well. As soon as you've got one person going dun 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 dun, it kind of gets a bit messy. So it's always good. Like with church playing, I usually take my groove from the guitarist or the piano player, whoever's leading, and depending what their groove is one that I try and replicate. So if they're actually going I'm more likely to play a rather than a
Gotcha.
That makes sense?
Yeah, gotcha.
Okay. And sometimes we don't know as musicians if we're playing a straight groove or a swung groove.
Yeah.
So it's not written down, but I'm going to try doing. We can increase the tempo a little bit, up to like
120?
120 is good. And I'll try playing this halftime shuffle now. So and then I'm going to go to a straight 16th note and try and play the same feel.
Okay.
Or the same rhythm. It'll have a different feel.
Beautiful.
So we've got the similar pattern happening on the kick and the snare.
Mm-hmm.
And it's all about that hi-hat, which changes the feel, basically. I mean, it's not. There's a little bit more to it than that.
Yeah.
You want everything to be falling in line with straight 16ths or swung 8ths in this case. So that's just something to be aware of when you're building, developing your groove, is to make sure everything's in line again and make sure you can count it right. And for me, singing it, first of all, is a good way of doing that. So I try and have all that going on and always having the same reference for everything. And just having control whether or not you're going to be in time or be out of time.
Perfect.
There we go.
All makes sense to me. I think these are great exercises. And I think the biggest thing is not just playing these exercises over and over, but really thinking about how you're playing them and making sure. And what you said in a lesson a while ago that I'll just bring up in today's is record yourself playing.
Yeah.
And the reason why you do that is so you can be your own worst critique and your own best critique, and you can actually see what notes you're flamming, even if it's by like a dotted 90 or 92nd note or sixth note, I guess it would be whatever. Even if it's by a fraction of a note, you'll be able to hear it and really work on your groove that way. There's so much you could learn and talk about with groove. We have 15 minutes left, so what I want to do is I want to give a couple things away. Then I want to go over some questions.
Yep.
And at the end of the lesson, I'm going to give away 2 month-long free memberships. So first, let's give away 2 drum heads. Okay, but before I go, Daniel Fucht, sorry if I'm pronouncing it wrong, the guy who won the shirt, he did post actually right above the picture that I didn't see, so I'm just going to say it. He started drumming when he was about 2 years ago now, and Drumeo has really helped me practice the right stuff. So I do apologize, Daniel, for not saying that, but you did mention how long you've been playing drums for. So let me do another one here. This is going to be for a 14-inch batter. I got 2 of them.
Oh.
A 14-inch Genera HD dry snare batter. It's the same head we have on this one.
Nice.
Actually, just changed this one. Go to overhead there. There we are. So we got 2 of these I'm going to give away. Awesome sounding drum heads. Evan's heads sound absolutely amazing. We've been using them for years now, and they sent us a few of them that we can give away to our community here. So, you guys, how long have you been playing drums for? If you haven't already, go to facebook.com/Drumeo so you can like our page and let us know how long you've been playing drums for. I'm just going to refresh now. And at random, I'm going to choose someone here. And here we go. Let's see. No more bias. Just going to randomly choose one.
Just randomly choose.
Eeny, meeny, miny.
Oh, creaking as well.
Philip Ipe, IPE. I've been playing for 2 years, learned everything from Jared and Dave. Oh, I'm honored. Thank you very much. And I didn't even read that before I chose it. So Jared Ipe, Philip Ipe, IPE. I'm going to like your status so you know. Drumeo, Dave@drumeo.com. Let me know. There's your head. And I'll mail it to you, no charge.
That's fine.
Now, this last head I'm going to give away, but I'm going to do this one a little bit different. We have a couple people in the membership, in the members forum, sorry. Drumeo members. What am I saying?
It's a long
anymore?
hour today.
It's a long hour. There's a lot of people in the drumming community, in the Drumeo community, that don't have Facebook. So I'm going to give this one away to somebody in the chat right now that is inside of the members chat. What I'm going to do, yes, I know, Jake, you still don't have Facebook. What kind of question should we ask? Have you, let's see. Oh, here we go. How old is Calum? You said your age.
Oh, I did.
Right? How old is Calum? You guys are in the drumming community. You'll know this. First person to answer.
It's good. I took it off my profile, so
you took it off your profile.
So
41.
Oh, who was that?
Nailed it. Osiris 211.
Ooh.
Nailed it.
Nicely done.
Osiris, email me. You know my email. We've emailed back and forth a few times. Email me. I'll send that to you. Okay. Now let's get to some questions here. Because groove is such a touchy topic. I find like everybody has their own take on what groove is. And also, let's see what some of the questions that we have here from the community. I'm going to see if I can find any groove-related questions. Okay.
I've got a little idea.
Here's from Dr. Pepper. Sorry. I was going to say, here's one from Dr. Pepper. Why is Calum so awesome? Does the accent add to his drumming skills? Anyway, that was actually what he says. And it does add to your drumming skills. I would say so. Anyway, I just wanted to say I love this approach to drums. I'd have to say drumming is probably the best way to learn online. Oh, okay. Can we get a Cajun lesson? Cajun lesson, yes.
Cajun lesson, yes. That's coming.
Dr. Pepper, that's coming. Don't worry. We have it scheduled. And we had a lot of people in our forum say we wanted a lesson on djembe and cajon. And I called it Cajun once. But that's going to be coming up very soon.
Not that will ever stick with you at all.
I know. I can't. Every time.
Dave K. John Atkinson.
Yeah. Here we go. Rob Matthew says, Dave/Cal, can you show an example of developing tension within the groove?
Ooh, tension. Okay.
Yeah.
How about this for an idea then? I'll just play something and I'll try and explain it afterwards.
Sure.
Okay. So,
let me know if you want to click or not.
No, we'll try it without this time.
Okay.
So what I'm trying to do there is the very front of the note, or the bar, is give a nice heavy downbeat. So you like, and then have busyness and then a rest at the end. So hopefully that's creating some kind of ebb and flow within that one bar. That you've got some kind of tension and release happening with it.
Okay.
So the release actually comes on the downbeat because you're like, where's the bar going to stop? Okay, so if I was playing it without a reference, it would be something like this. So I'm not thinking about keeping it in time here. Enter water. That's
I
very good.
got
Aqua of
my
life.
beverage, my life beverage.
That's
that
good.
maybe it'll help me say things that are what I actually want to say. So I like that you're creating that tension, and it's like you're waiting for that note to come.
Yeah.
That's kind of what you were talking about, right?
Yeah. So there I'm just leaving a pause. Why the big pause? Anyway, that's another joke. But and hopefully that's creating some kind of tension for me. It starts with a nice big heavy, gravity taking it down, and then there's some stuff to take it up, and then you've got this thing that swings a bit more rather than just being a straightforward going dum jat dum dum jat. You've actually got some movement. So I don't know if that was particularly the intent behind that question.
Yeah.
But I think just be more creative with where you're placing different sounds and your increments. Just try and sort those out.
Well, it definitely made sense to me, and I like that groove too. It's a cool groove. Okay. Osiris211 says, "What does having good meter mean? Is that the same as a good sense of time?"
Yes, good meter means that when you're playing as a musician, that what you're going to play, when you play it, will be an expected thing. So everything is, if you're at 100 beats a minute and you're counting beats, so 1, 2, 3, 4, all those gaps will add up to 100 beats at the end of a minute. So that's called having good meter or keeping good time.
Okay.
So that's different from kind of developing groove. That's the starting point for developing groove. But groove really comes from being aware of what music you're playing and playing something stylistically appropriate, I guess, would be a way of doing it. So it starts with internal meter, or the meter you have on the kit, where everything falls, make sure it's all in place. But then it goes beyond that as well. It's not just the timekeeping. It's playing something appropriate, or playing something that creates tension, or any of those kind of more musical, flowery language comes into groove playing, I think.
Excellent. You had some good terminology in there.
Oh, there we are.
Rob Matthews says, "Nicely done, by the way." I think he was the one who asked about the tension.
Oh, good.
Answered his question. Okay. And here's a question from Pixie. "Hey, Dave. Hey, Calum. Why is it called the halftime shuffle?" This is actually from Monica, and I believe she's out in the UK too. She says, say hi to Calum from Wales.
Oh, there we are then. Marvellous. I'll say hello, because that's how you say it in Welsh. It's just one L instead of two. It's marvellous.
Oh my goodness.
So a shuffle groove is the shuffle aspect of it. If you look at the music, bar number 9 or exercise number 9, and we've got those triplets there with the middle 8th note missing. So instead of going 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet, it's 1, 2, 3, 4. That is the shuffle. And normally it would play that like this. You'd get that kind of feel. But a halftime shuffle, so is going to play, instead of having the backbeat on 2 and 4 like this, the snare drum is going to happen on number 3. And therefore, by definition, the snare drum happens half as often on the half time as it does at full time. So if I play a couple of bars of each, you'll see the difference. This is just a normal shuffle beat. So that's the difference between a halftime shuffle and what you would find on a shuffle beat. A good place to find different grooves, actually, just as a little throw it out there, is get one of those little Bontempi or Casio organs, and you've got like the 32 different rhythm patches.
Yeah.
And you get 8th note rock, or you get halftime shuffle, or you get shuffle rock beat, or you get all these different ones, and they're really good to start you off on lots of learning different rhythms. Just listen to it and try and figure out how it's played. Slow the tempo right down. You'll have lots of different bossa nova versions on there, I'm sure. But they're just a really good place to get these little standard rhythms, if you like.
So learn the drums from a Casio computer.
Absolutely. Nothing better.
Nothing beats that. Okay, Captain Kickar says, can we count these out? I think they'd be helpful. Sorry for all the stars. He put a bunch of stars in his comment. But Captain, we will, we have a couple lessons coming up on basic theory and stuff. And stuff like this here, to count out these patterns, I think he's talking about numbers 1 through 7.
Okay.
We'll do that, and we'll do it another time. We're running low on time for that. And again, guys, usually we get to all the questions on the weekday lessons, but on Monday lessons, because we also broadcast podcast is free. We have an hour time cap, so it's tight right now. So I'm trying to fire through some of the questions here. Jake Carroll says, "Hey Calum, are you good with gospel style drummings? If so, can you show us some gospel fills and beats? Are you good at gospel chops?"
You know, when we think of gospel or the style of gospel chops or that stuff, it's kind of more Pentecostal than my groove.
Okay.
We're talking probably the default for that is lots of linear grooves and kind of fives across the kit, and that lends its way into more kind of R&B hip hop kind of style drumming. And for me, the kind of church culture, if you like, that I've grown up in or not grown up in since my early 20s has been more kind of singer-songwriter based. Think of the Eagles mixed with, I don't know, any other number of influences, but it's based on a kind of 70s rock feel, basically.
Yeah. Okay, fair enough. So sometime you wouldn't be opposed to doing like a gospel.
No, absolutely. It'd be great to absolutely do some of that stuff.
Keep that in mind.
It would be something like, if we're playing a kind of groove like that with a fill. But anyway, It's kind of much more funky than that, and anyway, more upbeat and more intent.
Awesome. Simon Clavette says, "My question is, to add groove, do I do a bit of ghosting with the left? Sorry, I do a bit of ghosting with the little weak but fast roll. Sometimes it's hard to understand the way they write it.
Yep.
Is this a good way? Now, before we get into that, because that's a whole loaded question, I just want to say this whole week on Drumeo is about ghost notes, accents, dynamics, basically, and I wanted to kickstart this week off with a lesson on groove, because without groove, and a lot of people like adding ghost notes here and there, it adds a lot of groove to your playing.
It does, as long as they're in the right place.
Exactly, and I like how in the very top of the lesson you wrote down there, playing the right notes in the right place at the right time.
Yeah, so there you go. So
very
that's
cool.
Or perhaps it's playing the right notes in the right place at the expected time. I don't know. Perhaps it's that.
Perhaps it is.
But groove, the whole point of groove is to make other musicians feel comfortable playing with you.
Yeah.
That's kind of the point of groove, really.
Very good point, actually. Write that down, guys.
Write that down.
Simon, so to answer your question, stick around. This whole week coming up is all on dynamics, introduction to ghost notes, adding ghost notes to your beats, advanced ghost note exercises, all coming up Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Mm-hmm. He also says he's been playing for 4 years for 4 years at school as a teen, and I resumed 6 months ago, which was 12 years later. So crazy. Glad you're back onto the drums.
Absolutely.
Okay, we got time for like maybe one more here. Let's see. Here's one just based on the shuffle. This one's from Peter. He says, "Hey, how do you count the shuffle?"
There we are. So if, as it's written here, a normal shuffle is made up of 8th note triplets. I would count it 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a. You would count it as 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet.
Yeah.
But as long as you've got something giving you that reference, that dum da dum da dum. So how I would count it with this would be, so if I'm going to play it just on the legs, it would be 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, a 1, a 2, a 3, a 4. If I want to play a whole shuffle rhythm or an 8th note triplet in there, it would be 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a. And the thing that makes the shuffle is that you take out the and. So the and or the trip out of each of those. So it would be 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet, 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet. And those are the notes that you play, and that's how you would count it.
Perfect. I would love to keep going. I've got about 9 or 10 questions here that are on the back burner, but we just running out of time, and I still got to give 2 monthly subscriptions away. So all you guys who had questions who we missed on this one, please come out any other time during this week. Calum, you won't be here for this week, but you're here again next week?
I believe so.
So he will be here to answer the questions that we missed here. Also, we have a ton of other drummers. Jay Dakeman's coming tomorrow. You guys haven't seen him yet. He's an absolutely amazing drummer, great personality, and he's a wealth of knowledge. You can ask the questions for him too. So make sure you come out. We will get your questions answered. To all those who are live right now, who are not part of the membership, now I'm going to give away 2 month-long free memberships to Drumeo, so you can get an idea of what it is. Okay, so back to Facebook, facebook.com/Drumeo. Post on there how long you've been playing drums for. I'm just going to refresh, so I have a fresh batch of new Facebook posts. Here, I'll do it again. Okay. All right, so the first one's going to go to Roger Chafe, or is that Chaffee? Chaffee. Roger, he's been playing for 40 years.
Yowza.
Nice.
Go, Roger.
Nice. Okay, I'm going to like your status there or like that post. Email me, dave@drumeo.com. I'll set you up. I'm going to go for the next one here. Another drum roll there on the leg. Okay, here we go.
Now, quick. I'm losing it.
There you go, just wait. This is a good workout for your wrists, eh? Okay, here we go. John D'Amato. John D''Amato. You've received a free month of Drumeo. Email me. He said he's been playing for 3 years.
There we go.
Yeah, so good on you. And dave@drumeo.com is where you need to email. I will set you up. I'm going to like that right there so I can remember. Excellent. All right. 4:59.
4:59.
Calum, thank you very much.
Pleasure, sir. As ever.
Yes. It's always fun having a lesson with you because you always make me laugh. Every lesson.
Well, that's what it's all about. Forget you playing, as long as you laugh.
Yeah,
That's the main thing.
And cheers, Victor, or the audio guru, for bringing me my drink. I left it in the other room. And thank you guys all for coming out. I truly appreciate it. Hope you guys learned something from this. I definitely did. And hope you guys have something you can take to your kit now. And if you guys want more information on Drumeo, what we do every day, definitely check us out. You can email me. I have a ton of people email, ask for questions. You can always call me up too. I can answer any questions you have on Drumeo, on the service that we have as well. And do you want to play us out? Do you have another play along you can do?
I've got a play along. Shall I just kick into that one? We need to plug in from
here's the plug. Play us out there, and Calum, you'll be on another lesson. Yeah, you want to throw that. You'll be on another lesson with us very soon. Tomorrow we have Jay Dakeman on Introduction to Ghost Notes, and then the whole week is about Ghost Notes and developing groove. So with that being said, thank you guys all for coming out. Calum, pleasure again, and I'll see you all later.
Something like this.
Something like this.
Is it working?
And make sure you put the... Oh.